Hey guys, here we are back at the layout. I've got all those rocks that I was installing done. That whole rock face is about almost 20 feet long. I'm gonna show you. I started painting on the other end. I'm gonna show you how I go about painting them. Anyway, I want to show you a couple more little tools I ended up using for the putting these rocks in. You may want to get you a set of these little palette knives. They're good for picking up that spackle and getting into real tight places with it. It helps you move that spackle around pretty good. Also, I also end up using a syringe. Luckily with my job, I'm able to get these pretty easily. If you can usually get these syringes, they have a little protective thing around the nipple on there. Anyway, I cut that off, and this allows you to put the spackle into, if you have any voids, like you see a hole between something, you can squirt it in there and actually go and take your brush and dab that in once you get it in place, and it kind of blends it in really well. So that's a couple more things that you may need as you go along. I did find out I messed around with doing some washes on this, and the hydrocal accepts them really well, but the spackle does not accept the washes as well. It will take them, but they're really light compared to the rocks. So to get them darker, it would take a lot more, and then your rocks would end up darker and everything. So I did attempt that. They do not work very well on that. The only way you could do it by using spackles, I guess, if you sealed the whole thing with a primer or something like that and then tried to work it out. But anyway, I'm going with painting mine. It probably just as fast. I like the gray rocks. You can see I've done some up there on the top just to practice, and actually they turned out pretty well for me. Anyway, I did come in here because I don't know if you've done any housework and used the spackle. Sometimes paint doesn't stick to it as well without a primer, so I did prime some of the larger areas where the spackle was. Anyway, move along down here. I'm going to show you how I'm starting about painting. When painting this, I'm using a latex paint. This is like a lamp black. And what I do is I'm painting the whole rocks, and this will make sure we get good coverage down into the cracks and hide anything as far as light spots that are way back in there. And I use the cheap brushes. I have this, and I have some Crayola brushes. You can buy them in the art craft section. It allows you to dab into those holes. Anyway, so far I've painted from one end all the way down here with the flat latex paint in a lamp black color. Then I have come down here and I started on this end, and I have worked my way down, and I'm going back and painting that. This is a flat gray paint. I don't know if I've got an actual name to it. I think I've had this sitting around a while, and it's just gray in color. It's a solid color. I like flat because it's flat in real life. Anyway, so I am working my way down, and I'll show you in a little bit because I'm going to add some textures to, or some colors to it. I got some chalks and some pastels I'll end up using on it. But anyway, this flat gray gives it a good look just the way it is. Now that's with the light, and with the light off you can see all the shadows and everything you get. But the black inside those gives you that dark color down in the crevices. So I've got this big black area here. I got a mine going in here, so I've left that as a square. But anyway, I'm going to continue along. I did want to show you that in here, in this area right here. Let's make sure I'm getting this. Yeah, this area right here. When I made this rock wall, I was able to bring rock up here and across, and this was all. There was about a ½ inch open here and a ½ inch over to the edge, and this right here on both sides, and just from right there around, is Sculptamold, and it worked really well. Even with the brushes that I'm using, I was able to just take those little palette knives, pull it into place, and this actually works better than spackle as far as pressing it in and giving it a texture. And you really can't tell too much from the rock here to the textured area there. So this allowed me to kind of blend it in and made a really nice transition from the hydrocal over to the tunnel itself. But anyway, I'm going to get a little bit further along. I'm going to finish painting this all up in the black and then in the gray, and then we'll come back and I'll put some the powders on there to kind of give a little bit of more color to it. So we'll be back shortly. Okay guys, I did want to show you one thing. The black and the gray paints, they're both flat latex house paints. It doesn't matter if you use interior, exterior. I just happened to this is Bear, and this happened to be American Tradition. It's wherever I happened to be at the time to getting it. I was going to say, when I paint the black in, I was showing you that I was just pressing this into the crevices and everything. If you really want to, and I've airbrushed latex paints for years on other models. So anyway, this is a little cheap $9 airbrush from Harbor Freight. It's one of these that's got the detachable end. This piece stays clean all the time, so it works really well. This right here, it's got like 35 pounds of pressure. Now I do thin this down by about 30 to 40%. You just have to figure out what sprays the best. If you get one of the more finer airbrushes, you have to thin it down a little bit more. But this one will shoot it and it'll just spray it. It does a real good job of spraying. It'll get down in your crevices, and I did that whole wall from here all the way down to the end in about 3 or 4 minutes. It takes hardly any time at all, and but it'll get all those spots that a lot easier than doing it with a brush. Also, the gray, I am going to do it with a brush, because if you shoot the gray with an airbrush, you're defeating your purpose of actually putting the black on. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then we'll continue on with the gray, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I got the black on here, and I'm going to show you how I do the gray. All I do is when I put the paint in, I just barely catch the tip of the bristles on this, and then I just go about dabbing it in, and it'll leave a lot of black in there, and you can get it to whatever you're comfortable with. I just keep working with it, because you want just a little bit of black showing. That'll give you a little bit of shadow or a little bit of like crevice work. But anyway, I just keep going with it. When I dip it, I'll hit it in the middle of a place I know it's going to be mostly seen. So then I'll pull it back up here and do the intricate areas. But it's more or less just a dabbing motion all the way around. And like I said, you can leave as much black as you want, or put as much gray as you want. Anyway, I'm going to continue this on out. I'll get all the gray done, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more. Okay guys, here I've got everything painted, and now what I'm doing is I'm starting to work. You can see, maybe you can see, I hope I got enough light here. You can see that I have started working with the weathering powders. I just got several different colors that I'm working with. I'm just trying to weather it up, like a dirt coming down on the side of the mountain. You can see over here, I hope you can see over here, there's no powder whatsoever, so it's just the flat gray with the black in the crevices over here. And then as we come back over here, I've got you can see a little bit of the browns. There's like maybe a burnt sienna in there. It's the little bit of reddish color. And after I got that in, there's a real dark brown, and then I came back and went back over it with another gray, a gray powder. And I will just work my way down and try to, it'll dull it up, plus it'll give it a little bit of weathering on the rock itself. But I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out good. But that's an easy way to do it. Just like I said, the flat latex paints. The lamp black is what I started with. And then I went with the gray, and like I said, I don't have the actual name of this gray. I just picked it out. I thought it was a decent mid-sized gray. You know, if somebody really liked the color, I'll make them a color swatch, and they could have it duplicated. But anyway, It's a real easy way to paint it. I'm done with my rock wall except for putting the weathering powders on there. And I hope you enjoyed my my 2 videos on doing the rock faces.